So my project will be looking at the religious imagery in Lana Del Rey's work. But first, I think it's important to look at my definition of religion. We've been asked to create this definition over the course of our class, and I feel pretty confident about the one I have right now. My definition of religion states that religion is not centered on a defined figure, but rather on a community that shares rituals, practices, traditions, and/or myths. These myths are stories that embody the values and beliefs of the community, providing a foundation for the rituals and practices they follow. Together, these elements are lived by individuals with the hope of achieving a common goal. This project will examine three Lana Del Rey albums, her very first debut, the fan favorite Ultraviolence, as well as her most recent release, Did You Know There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard, which released last year. We'll be looking at exploring how through religious imagery and diction, such as myth and the word hallelujah, as well as our own connection to faith, how Lana Del Rey has used her music to critique social norms and expectations imposed upon women in a patriarchal society. The first album, Born to Die, the Paradise Edition, released in 2012 and is a deluxe version of her debut album and features 23 songs. This album includes two of her biggest hits, Summertime Sadness and Video Games. Out of the 23 songs, 11 contain reference to religion. Due to our time and so much to go over, we will not be able to examine each song, but one song I'd like to go over is God's a Monster. The song explores a narrative where gods represent and symbolize celebrities, as monsters represent and embody the challenges and troubles within that celebrity world, such as addiction and moral corruption. Lana Del Rey, however, in the song embraces these monsters, finding strength in her flaws and mistakes. Throughout the song, Lana Del Rey makes several references to the myth of Adam and Eve. A central theme explored in her chorus was mythology, as described by Elijah Singler in our book, Religion and Pop Culture in America. He defines myth as a culturally transmitted narrative that gives a society a sense of identity and meaning. Now, here we will hear a snippet of the song and let's focus on a specific lyric. I was an angel, living in the garden of evil. Lana Del Rey's lyric, I was an angel living in the garden of evil, portrays herself as a fallen angel, drawing a parallel to Eve, the first woman who defined divine command. The song draws on the creation myth and contrasts the traditional biblical imagery. In the Bible, Adam and Eve are depicted as pure beings in the Garden of Eden, and Eve's temptation to fall from grace is often used to justify patriarchal views about women's inherent sinfulness and moral weakness. Lana Del Rey, however, flips this narrative, representing herself as an angel in a corrupted garden, suggesting a world where purity is overshadowed by evil, and where a woman is not a source of original sin, but rather a victim of a corrupted world. This artistic choice allows her to express vulnerability and assert her autonomy outside conventional societal norms, resonating with the transformative and identity-shaping powers that myths provide to societies. Thus, through her music and lyrics, Lana Del Rey has engaged in a modern-day myth-making process, exploring timeless themes of rebellion and vulnerability. Mythology has historically played a pivotal role in shaping and enforcing social norms against women. This phenomenon is well articulated by scholar Andrew Whitehead in his work, Is a Christian America a More Patriarchal America? Religion, Politics, and Traditionalist Gender Ideology. He explains that Christian nationalism is a cultural framework, a collection of myths, traditions, symbols, narratives, and value systems that are pervasive throughout society. Within this framework, myths embedded in cultural narratives frequently reinforce traditional gender roles and norms, serving to uphold patriarchal structures and limit the agency and autonomy of women. Contemporary artists such as Lana Del Rey are navigating and reinterpreting these myths in their own creative expression. Through her art, she's actively prevailing prevailing societal narratives and offering alternative perspectives on gender roles and identities. The next album I'll be going over is Ultraviolence for mainly two reasons. It's the fan favorite, and also where Lana Del Rey has faced the most criticism in her career. The album was released in 2014 and features 14 songs with three references to religion. The song we'll be analyzing particularly is Money, Power, and Glory. In the song, Lana presents herself as greedy, openly desiring wealth, power, and glory without hesitation to take these from anyone, including the man that she loves. However, the song holds a deeper meaning and ultimately represents a newfound independence for women, suggesting that women should not have to sacrifice their dreams, motivation, or financial goals for a man nor solely rely on a man for support. In our discussion, we explored the concept of greed in relation to religion, highlighting how consumerism contradicts the values of sharing and community upheld by certain faiths. Now we will listen to a snippet here. Supposed to get there with the way that we're living today. You talk lots about God. You'll also be hearing another snippet here. The song portrays this man that Lana loves as someone who talks extensively about God, which Lana seems to oppose, as she expresses no desire to share and is proud to be greedy. Another example that connects to our class is when we had our guest speaker, Dr. Um, Naparstic, who described Leonard Cohen's reinvention of Hallelujah. In a similar vein, Lana is twisting the traditional meaning of Hallelujah in her own way. Her phrase, Hallelujah, I want to take you for all that you got, shifts the praise and things typically directed towards God to instead worship what she seems divine, such as money, power, and glory. Women for years have been referred to as greedy, whether the reason is wanting independence or seeking a career outside of the domestic sphere. In the book, Greed, Lust, and Gender, A History of Economic Ideas, Nancy Folber discusses how John Stuart Mill's The Subjection of Women argues that societal expectations often dictate that women should prioritize self-sacrifice and selflessness, particularly in roles related to family and caregiving. The societal norm suggests that women should not exhibit behaviors associated with greed or selfishness, and that these are traditionally seen as masculine traits. However, we see Lana utilize religious symbolism to articulate her aspiration for wealth and influence, bravely questioning conventional norms that frequently expect women to prioritize selflessness over their own ambitions. The last album we'll be going over is her the newest album, Did You Know There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard, which released last year. This album features 16 songs, with 7 of them referencing religion. In my opinion, this album addresses religious themes more directly than any of her previous work, especially since Judah Smith, whom we talked about in class, is featured. The song I'll be examining in particular is A&W, which stands for American Horror, and how the Judah Smith interlude is interconnected with that track. I believe that A&W is Lana's most personal song to date. The song delves into the artist's past, with Lana singing about the common female experience of wanting to feel desired. She expresses the struggle in feeling that, though, because of her appearance, and how in society she is automatically labeled as an American whore, when in reality all she seeks is love. The song addresses the feeling of being objectified as a woman, and for the first time in her career, Lana details a sexual assault within the song and a critique to rape culture. Lana's Lana lyric states, God's a charlatan, don't look back, babe. And another lyric is, I mean, look at my hair, look at the length of it and the shape of my body. If I told you that I was raped, do you really think anybody would think I didn't ask for it? In the song, Lana directly attacks the patriarchal society intertwined with religion, which dictates how women are viewed. She suggests that based on her hair and body, she would be seen as a victim who invited the insult, and no one would believe her. This leads her to lose faith in God, referring to him as a fraud, as she struggles to understand how he could allow such a thing to happen to her. Overall, the song is about Lana and her life. It's not about creating a story. Furthermore, in class, we've discussed the Judah Smith interlude, particularly the part where he says, I used to think my preaching was mostly about you, but I've discovered my preaching is mostly about me. Lana Del Rey uses this message to illustrate that her song A&W, along with her music and life, is centered on herself and her own quest. The song A&W and the Judah Smith interlude bring an important conversation to light regarding the intersection of religion and women's bodies, particularly in the context of rape culture. In our reading discussion about losing their way to salvation, women, weight loss, and the religion of thinness, Michelle M. Lewinka describes how religion can function as a form of social control. Lana Del Rey admits to losing her faith to the pervasive rape myth, where religion often blames the victim rather than the perpetrator. This issue is further explored in Religious Affiliation, Religiosity, Gender and Rape Myths Acceptance, Feminist Theory and Rape Culture by Michael D. Barnett and Kylie B. Singler. These authors suggest that religious texts contain passages that support rape myth and patriarchal attitudes. Distorted and selective interpretation of these texts can influence the acceptance of rape myths, themes within religious contexts, such as female chastity and wifely duties and ideal women, endorse patriarchy and contribute to a culture that excuses men's violence against women. I believe that my artifact fits into the category of religion and pop culture. The 3 albums contain numerous references to religion, and the 4 songs that we've chosen to explore use religion as symbolism to create deeper meanings and critique patriarchal society. By juxtaposing religious symbolism with contemporary issues and personal narratives, Lana Del Rey is challenging and deconstructing traditional interpretations of faith and morality. Overall, Lana Del Rey's work prompts discussion about the role of spirituality in contemporary society, the intersection of faith and feminism, and the ongoing evolution of religious symbolism in popular music. My research is just the beginning. I believe Lana will be remembered as one of the greatest musicians and a true visionary. Further exploration of my research could involve analyzing every song in every album to examine how other songs use religious imagery to critique patriarchy. I believe my research could be valued in real life by exploring the history of women using religious imagery in their music, offering alternative perspectives on feminist ideology and the female identity in an American Christian-dominated world. Lana is not the first to do this, with others like Madonna, Kate Bush, and Fiona Apple before her, but she serves as an important figure in the 2010s, showcasing diverse ways feminism can be explored. Lana Del Rey's music, particularly the song we discussed, aligns with my definition of religion by sharing a common goal, highlighting women's experience and exploring how patriarchal society disenfranchises them. Lana Del Rey employs religious imagery to illustrate these themes, demonstrating through myths, themes of greed, and personal narratives how she supports women and fosters a sense of community. Her music exposes the patriarchal norms deeply embedded within religious contexts.